when you think about clearing out threats, basically fogging or fogging your house to get rid of the fungal something in the air, or black mold or whatever, right? You're completely aerating an entire area, devoiding it of threat, and then obviously the fog doesn't last forever though, right? But you're hoping that once you remove it, it doesn't come back. The way I look at this is, think about King's Row, okay? So King's Row, here's the point, here's the choke over here, here's hotel, right? The little building with the health pack. And then you can go up the stairs, right? And then there's the high ground. This is a terrible drawing, but here's the point, okay? As Reinhard, what you can do is you can go, all right, we're gonna go up through hotel or theater, and we're gonna go up the stairs, up through high ground, and then push the point here. Or you can even make this jump if you have Lucio, or you can go underneath and clear the high ground here. And basically what this does is, if there's a sniper here, or a McCree, or a Ball, or a Tracer, well, guess what? They see a Reinhardt coming, they have to run away. Reinhardt, you cannot meet a Reinhardt. You have to run away. So when they run away, and then you drop the point, well, guess what? Where are they positioned now? Are they shooting you in the back anymore? No, they're not. Even if they have mobility and can go back to the high ground, it will take time for them to do that, time that you can use and say, hey, we're just gonna go straight to point and we win the fight. So even against dive heroes, clearing high ground, get rid of the Sombra, get rid of the Tracer, get rid of the Monkey, make them jump away, and then go to point, well, now they're like, oh shoot, now we have to go back, but we don't have time because they're capping point. You see what I'm saying? So the goal is that with Reinhardt, because nobody can meet you face to face, you can clear out angles. You can protect your team through chokes. You can threaten the enemy team and make them punish you instead of your team because you'll kill them otherwise. Or you can clear out angles before you commit. So our challenge in this VOD is to see what House could have done to help his team do better. Again, it's not through communication, because that just doesn't happen. Remember the Lucio guide? I tried my best to make sure that there was stuff that it didn't require a lot of team coordination for you to find value out of. It's the same thing with Reinhard that we're gonna try. Main. In other words, they see their impact as only what's directly in front of them, and they ignore high ground, they ignore left, they ignore right, and they ignore what's behind. When the reality of the situation is that, okay, you cannot simply just W key in without at least understanding and knowing what's going on in the high ground and what's going on in the flank. If you can help your team clear high ground, if you can shield them so your team can spam high ground, if you can, the Monkey jumps your backline, you go swing on him a little bit and then you push forward, but you can't just go in without respecting and dealing with high ground and flanks. Because either your backline is going to die because they're dealing with the pressure of the high ground and flank, or you are going to die because while your team is dealing with it, they're not healing you. You see what I'm saying? The goal is to deal with the high ground and flanks and then hard W key in, knowing that your supports have nothing else better to do other than heal you, because they're so safe and so happy. Compositionally wise, I don't really want to get too much into it. You have enough healing. You aren't particularly running any flankers. You don't have Zarya bubbles. Same thing with the enemy team. No real flankers, nothing really crazy. They have enough healing, nothing crazy, okay? So what your job here is you look at the enemy team, and I want you to look at their map control, okay? And I want you as Reinhardt to think, what can I do? Chat, what could our Reinhardt do here? Where should our Reinhardt go? Where does the enemy team's map control matter? In other words, let's not overcomplicate this. Where is the enemy team really scary with where they're set up? Yep, right here. This is scary. This is really scary, because the second that you press W down main, what's gonna happen? Where's your shield for Junkrat spam? Who's gonna stop Doomfist from just going in and smashing your support's faces in? You're done. You're done. You're gonna W key, and you're gonna be like, why am I not getting any healing? Well, it's either because your backline is dead, or they had heal station, flashbang, on a nade, nobody's shooting the enemy Reinhardt, they're all shooting you, bingo. So the question here is, what can you as Reinhardt do? Now this is why Reinhardt's a tricky hero to play. He's really, really fundamentally basic, but he's hard to master, because you look at the situation here and you're like, okay, well, I have to find out a way to deal with that. In my opinion, I think you need to clear stairs. Now, obviously clearing stairs into a Junkrat is going to feel pretty clunky. You might get punched. It's going to feel rough. But I'm less scared because if you go stairs, the enemy Sigma, enemy Ana, enemy Mercy, enemy Rein, they can't really pincer you. You're not scared of 2 members of the enemy team. You're scared of 6 and what the 2 can do when they're fighting is 6. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like when you're playing Anubis, Temple of Anubis, and you go around left side into the Mega and you get spammed by Junkrat, it's not just the Junkrat you're scared of. It's the Reinhardt holding the choke. It's the damage boosted sniper on high ground. It's the Zarya, right? If it's just junk here, a Junkrat alone can't stop you from walking through a choke. So even though you could say, okay, yeah, this is pretty bad. Junkrat's gonna be able to spam this. Yeah, but what is the Reinhardt gonna do? What is the Sigma gonna do? What is the Ana Mercy gonna do? I think the goal here needs to be shoot the Reinhardt, like stand here a little bit, get that Reinhardt to back up just a little bit, and then go clear high ground. Make sure that they're not going to fight you as 6 before you clear the high ground. Because once you clear high ground, chat, what can Reinhardt do with high ground? Can Reinhardt really do anything with high ground? No, he can't. No, he can't. But your McCree can, your Soldier can, and more importantly, this isn't just about enabling your team, it's about disabling them. Does that sound familiar? For those of you who saw my Lucio guide, it's the same concept. Make that Junkrat play with his team. If you do nothing else here but make Doomfist reset his cooldowns and make Junkrat go play with his team, you've done a good job. Does this rely a little on your team following you? Yes, but everything relies on your teammates not being completely brain dead. You might go into this game and try and clear high ground and literally everybody just stands AFK at main. Unlucky, go next. But more often than not, your team will follow you. And more often than not, you will benefit from doing things like this than standing AFK on main. You see what I'm saying? Yes, there will be games where doing the wrong thing will work out right because your teammates will actually follow you. But the point being is that you want to do what's right, and that will work out 65% of the time. And even if your team doesn't follow you here, even if, like, let's say just your McCree Ana come here and your team just stands AFK on main, your Hog doesn't, fine. Even better, because you don't need a bunch of people to come with you. You're Reinhardt, man. Come up here with an Ana or a McCree and they have to leave anyway, even though it's just 1 or 2 of you. It doesn't rely on your whole team going up here. In fact, like I said, it's actually better that your whole team doesn't, because then you can have like a damage boosted soldier sitting on main on a flank. Great, that's a lot of pressure. You know, your Hog can sit and make sure that Reinhardt doesn't commit on you, right? You start to kind of, you see how they, like once you clear high ground, now maybe your McCree's on high ground with Ana, your soldier, damage boosted soldier Hog on main, and then you drop on main here too. Like you see how you almost like, oh, I just ripped my earbuds out. You kind of pincer them in a way. And there's your Reinhardt advantage. Reinhardt, you think about like tanks here, and you think about what could a Winston just jump up here and clear out this high ground? No. Could a Ball like go through here and bully this Doomfist Junkrat out of the way? No. Could an Orisa do it? Not really. Not near as easily. There's your Reinhardt advantage. That's what he's good at. Bingo. Reinhardt is not good in maps where there's a lot of angles, like Lucio, right? He's good when there's like one specific angle or high ground that he could just walk onto and say, goodbye, go away. That's why you play Reinhardt. So I know what we're gonna do here. I know what most Reinhardts would do here, and we're probably just gonna walk on main. And you hate to see it. This is really important, chat. Really important. Yeah. Naded. What is this Doom doing? So do you see this here? Do you see this? This is really important. You need to be helping this. Like, okay, at this point in time, it's like you're naded. Obviously, you're gonna have to play slow. But like, do you see kind of like your team actually is doing this without you? Your team is recognizing the situation and doing it without you. And bingo, there you go. Now you win. Now what's gonna happen, chat? What is House going to do? House is gonna push on main and is gonna feel good about it, or should feel good about it if he's playing well. But the question is how, like, it wasn't just handed to him. His team bought that space for him. So, you know, oh dear, this is bad. You guys actually might lose this now. Because again, I don't really care about what you're doing here. Like, you're buying space for your team, but a lot of the time the way Overwatch works is with Reinhardt is you're only creating space for a couple people of your team. You're more importantly, you're creating a distraction more than you're creating space. Like, look at your team. Who are you creating space for? Your Hog and your Ana. Really, that's all, right? But you're just trying to distract more members. But the problem here is that You're McCree, your team killing the Doomfist wasn't good enough. Do you see what the Reinhardt's doing? Which Reinhardt is doing more? This is a good way of phrasing it. Which Reinhardt is doing more to win the fight? Yeah, exactly. This Reinhardt is enabling his Junkrat to clear the high ground and win the high ground. And then, hey, you know what? He's probably gonna have to drop back and contest point, but he's gonna do so once his Junkrat is won. And I'm gonna actually, I screw you. I want to see what happens up here. Bingo. Look at that. Look at that, chat. And now it doesn't matter. Look at me. It doesn't matter what you do. You've lost this fight. It doesn't matter because your team is gonna get shot in the back. Like you would have to, I don't even know what you'd have to do. You have to pin somebody or. Good block on the rock though. I like that you're taking space aggressively because, you know, you're taking space aggressively, which, you know, is an attention getter. But also, do you notice how, like, it allows your hog to, like, play super aggressive? Do you see how, like, awkward they have to play? So, like, if we ignore the high ground, this isn't bad Ryan gameplay. But it's bad Ryan gameplay because you're just playing the hero wrong. Remember we talked about that with Lucio? Like, you're not scuffing your cooldowns, you're not feeding, but you're not doing your job. And look at this Junkrat. He's look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this Ryan. Look at this Ryan. And now this Ryan's N. He misses his shift, but you're in serious trouble, brother. Now the Junkrat drops, which is actually a mistake. But yeah. Like, I could not have asked for a better first fight to demonstrate what we talked about in the beginning. Now, you look at the composition, sometimes there won't be anybody on high ground. You know, maybe they're playing like, you know, Reaper May, or they've got like a Torbjorn back here or a Widow up here. But the concept's still the same. You can't just turn your brain off and go high ground. That's not what I'm saying. You hear me, chat? I'm not saying just go high ground as Reinhardt. You need to look at the situation and go, okay, what map control do I need to deny? Or what map control do I need to take? You know, if there's a Widow on main and a Torbjorn on main, maybe you go high ground to help your team go high ground. But in that situation, if they're all on main, then all you need to really worry about is good cooldown usage and playing the corner, right? You see what I'm saying? Because there is no map control. You can't like pin in and deal with a Widow if they're all just stacked main. It's when they're not stacked that Reinhardt's job gets tricky. Let me repeat that for you. It's when the enemy team is not stacked in one clump that your job becomes more difficult. If they're all stacked on main, none of this matters. You just walk on main. You can clear high ground if you want to give your team a chance to use it, but you just play the corner and you play smart. It's all cooldown usage and timing at that point. But if they are not stacked main, that's when you have to actively think, what can I do to help? You know, the best way of describing this is, what do you not see? What do you not see? I don't see Doom. Do you? Well, first off, yeah, exactly. Where is your team? Is your team ready to push you this choke? Like, I look at your on is a lagging behind, so that's concerning number one. But also, where's Doomfist? Now, obviously, maybe he's like all the way over here. You can't really bother about that, but he's right here, man. If you would just use your eyes, a quick visual, this Doomfist is going to have to run away. You will shoot him, he will see him, he will have to run away, or he will die. If he runs away, fine. Now he's a lot less scary. If he dies, even better. This is really concerning, because you're going to die to this Doomfist punch. There you go. Did he lose to what was directly in front of him? Again, I want to reiterate that, yes, he should have waited for his Ana. That was the big thing. But staying on topic of what we were talking about, did he lose to Junkrat spam on main, or Sigma spam on main, or an Ana sleep or nade, or a Reinhardt swing? No, he didn't. He lost to a punch from behind. Okay, chat, here, this is a really good question. You are playing Reinhardt. And you're walking through this choke. You can't go high ground. Let's just say for whatever that the stairs are blocked off. And there's like somebody, you know, peed in the floor over here. It's got to be cleaned up, you know. What do? What, you can't really shield high ground that much. So what do? So the goal should be, you are aware that high ground is dangerous. And you are looking at main, but you're also, you got like your third eye trained up here. And as soon as you see that Doomfist commit, or that Junkrat peek to spam, I want you to chill, slow down. Do not demand healing when your teammate needs to be dealing with this. In other words, while your teammate is shooting that Junkrat or peeling the Doomfist, you do not press W in main. You walk forward, you bait this engage, you look for high ground, they start abusing it, you chill, you let them deal with it, and then you press W again. Does that kind of make sense? Now that's hard. This isn't like diamond tier stuff. This is like Masters GM. This is like super, super big brain stuff. But you need to know. When they're abusing this high ground, you cannot be demanding resources at the same time. If you cannot help them take it away, you can help by not demanding their attention elsewhere. And this is the reason I say this is because not only is it important to know, it's important to know for ranked. Because what if your team doesn't go high ground? Fine, but you can still use your eyeballs and help them deal with high ground without even needing your team to go with you. Recognize the pace of the fight, exactly. So right now, chat, can our Reinhardt just press W? Yep. DPS are dead. High ground isn't relevant anymore. You have your full team support. Press W. You can unironically press shift right now. I don't recommend you do, but you could press shift right now and you wouldn't die. I would guarantee you wouldn't die. Like, you're like the Michael Bay of Overwatch gameplay. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat asking, what catastrophic event is next? Like, the only thing missing is, you know, the bad character and the bad characters and the brain dead personality. But, you know, honestly, you've probably got that covered as well. So, okay, so what is the challenge here with Rein? What is the dilemma, the difficulty of playing Reinhard on second point, and why is he so bad here? Yeah, map controlled high ground, exactly. There's so much high ground, there's so many angles, like it's difficult with Reinhard to do a lot here. So the decision here is, can I contribute with this? Do I need to help with this before I just press W? Because my fear is, once again, we're gonna press W mouse 1, McCree's gonna flank, our support's gonna dry up, and then we're gonna die. You know, chat, maybe I'm coaching this. House, I want you, once you get the cart to push here, if the enemy team is far back enough to you to assist, like clear high ground with your team really fast. Can we make it a habit of doing that? Can we try that? Just initially. You know, like look at this fight. Look how far away they are. You've got time. Go up here. You'll probably run to the McCree, you know? Take a high ground, smash this, help them get the res, and then go drop main. Again, chat, what would I like here? And the thing is like, if you're in diamond and you're like, yeah, soldier, I'm gonna go high ground with you. Hey, Anna, I'm gonna go high ground with you. Like, you're like reminding them, hey, bozo, get off the floor. You know, stop wallowing in the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Get off the cart. I think here, like, have your Anna push cart. You go high ground, or have your Mercy push cart. You go high ground with your soldier. Shield them for a little bit, and then drop. Make it so that if they want to contest this high ground early, they run into you on high ground. Now, again, you don't stay high ground forever. You can drop the push cart, you can drop the contest, right? Whatever. But that initial idea of assisting your team contest that angle, I like it a lot, because I think what we're about to see is about to confirm my theory. Yeah. You see it, chat? Do you see it? Can you imagine you being Reinhard here and they just go up the elevator and, oh, there's a Reinhard here. Again, can we just admire like where the fight is actually being won and lost? I know, where is the fight being won and lost? Is it what you're doing right now? Smashing your forehead on main? No. It's this. Son of a gun. Son of a gun! You only won that. Oh, how did you win that? What did they do? No, McCree, what? What? Okay, I'm sorry. I severely underestimated the brain dead capabilities of Diamond Divas. This man had a high noon, had a high ground, and he drops to flashbang a Reinhardt. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. And high noon's in the middle of your team, and then look at your team. Your soldier clutches it. But it's that initial boost that a Reinhardt provides by just being at the proper spot. I guarantee you, chat, if you watch Cloudy play Reinhardt, now I have it actually on my to-do list to watch LH Cloudy play Reinhardt. Is he streaming right now? He's not. I guarantee you, he positions himself and moves around the map in ways that you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. I wasn't expecting him to like go high ground there, or you know, do this or do that, or clear that flank. Like, I guarantee you he does not bot main. I guarantee you. You're cute. Thank you. I guarantee you. So, you know, like obviously again you have to drop main here, but like you can go here initially, deny this push, and then drop main and pump pressure. At which point your DPS will have already gotten the work done. You just nothing you do. Like this is why you can feel helpless as Reinhardt. Chat, did you ever notice how many Reinhardts complain about feeling helpless? Now, I understand that against like Echoes and Pharahs. Like your options with pushing out those angles are very limited. But even then, do you understand? Like why Reinhardts feel quote unquote helpless? It's because they're just very one-dimensional in their thinking. Very one-dimensional in their thinking. If you're being shot by a Sigma behind or a hog flanking, go clear him out. Or at least push him back. You don't have to kill him, just annoy him and then go back to your main. Just like inconvenience him. That alone is worth a lot. Why do you guys think Reinhardt is better, is really good in this point, or just good in this point? Exactly, lack of off angles. Exactly, there's like a lack of angles. Like so just this one high ground angle. It's like first point Hollywood. It's just this high ground angle, and then you're good. Then you're just the choke basically, or in this little thing here. And you as a Reinhardt can easily. Because what we have done is we've talked a lot about how Reinhardt can clear off angles, but the idea is that like yes, you have to and you can and you should, but you're not very good at it. Like you can do one off angle, and that's basically all you can contribute to. So you like points like King's Row where there are off angles that you can clear, but there's not many of them. That's what you're looking for. So that's why Reinhardt's going to be good here. Now chat, we talked about on attack how we as Reinhardt could like chill main and then go high ground and clear high ground out and then drop main again. Now I want you to look at defense. What can Reinhardt do in defense here? Because most Reinhardts are going to start exactly where we are now. Well, not now, but like here, right? You're a little too far forward up because it's hard for your soldier, Ana, and Zarya to get stuff done. I want you playing a little further back here. But once we hold this corner here, how can we contribute to map control? I want you guys to think. Because we saw it from the enemy Reinhardt on their defense, and I want to see you try and do it occasionally as well, if you need to. Would you go take high ground or call it? Both. Your team may not listen, or your team may not be in voice, but call it and do it. And again, hey, sometimes your team won't follow up. Happens, no big deal. But most of the time, it's better to make the right decision. Because even in the times they don't follow up, it will still pay off. Chat, where should he go? Yeah, exactly. If you see the enemy DPS going high ground, you can like chill main, and just go upstairs with help and go clear the DPS out. Like it is literally better to let that Reinhardt just push on main. Because again, what is he going to do? Because you were in the exact same situation and you lost multiple fights to just pushing on main. So you could actually be like, hey, soldier, let's go take high ground, brother. You know, walk high ground, clear out this, and bang, bang, bang. Jack's your uncle. You know what I'm saying? I want us to get in the habit right now of going high ground. Clear high ground, shield your soldier, then drop and stop current. Go right now, you could go soldier, come on, let's go. You go all the way over here, and then you drop right here. Do it. I don't want you staying high ground. Somebody has to stop current, but do it. Go high ground. Go. Do it. And then drop. Because here's another, what's another benefit of high ground? Actually, okay, my laptop's about to die, so I was going to pull up my phone. So while I'm pulling up my phone, chat, think about your shield HP. What do you think is going to cost more shield? Walking down main to stop the cart or walking across high ground to stop the cart? Yeah, exactly. Main. By the time you get here, let's look at your shield. Because you're walking into their spots. Look at this chaos. Look at this chaos. Absolute chaos. And what have you accomplished here? Have you really protected your team all that much? No. No. The enemy team doesn't give a rip. Like they can't really reach your Zarya. They can't really reach your Ana. Like they don't have any like reliable damage to get on them from here. So, no. Like again, go main or go high ground, drop main, and there you go. Bingo bango. I don't know what that means. And there you go. Like, congratulations, you've cast your corpse into the heap. You've given your team 0 time to actually take map control, and you have contributed nothing to the fight. You have done absolutely nothing. This has transcended disappointment. We have not entered into another realm, we have now entered into another realm where failure is the norm. There is nothing and will be nothing but failure. We talked about how you lose and win fights off of stuff away from main, right? And what we talked about is like what you as Ryan can actually contribute to that. And that's either going initially clearing high ground before dropping on main, or if you cannot deal with high ground, knowing when high ground is being abused, playing slow, allowing the high ground to be dealt with, and then picking up your tempo. Don't rush in when your team is busy dealing with high ground. Deny the space that needs to be denied, not press W minus. Exactly. Every single team fight needs to be a crossword puzzle or a Sudoku or whatever that you have to figure out. Hits whip. Exactly. I don't know what that means. But you have to think, like, what can I do with my hero, with my big hammer, with my big shield? What can I do to help this fight be won? Don't just walk down main AFK. If you walk down main, do it at the right time when your team has dealt with or cleared out or survived the angles. And if you can't contribute to the angles, find a way to do it. I fully expect this concept to be understood, but also to be like, I go into the next game and I'm spending more time like looking around the map than I actually looking at what my job is. And I think that's okay. I'm gonna bet the farm on it, because I think it's gonna be a little awkward at first and it's gonna slow you down a little bit. But I think like once you actually grasp it, you will build speed, like you'll get fast at it. And I think you'll get more comfortable in different maps of like what the relevant positioning in maps are and where people might be flanking. I think you'll get more comfortable at recognizing that. So I fully understand that this review might be clunky for you, but I want you to commit. I want you to commit. I want you to really like take it seriously, and I want you to not just commit, but I want you to push yourself. Like when I say walk through a choke and check your angles, I don't want you taking longer than a second to do it. If you walk through here and there's an Ashe like hiding behind a wall here and waiting and waiting and waiting, fine. You know what? Let her have it. I don't want you going around playing Sherlock Holmes on the loose. You know what I'm saying? But have a, like I said, we saw. Remember, like we died the Doomfist here. It would have taken us half a second to find that. It would have taken us. Even if we, okay, for example, clear high ground here, but maybe you don't necessarily need to clear high ground here. Maybe you could just, like, if the card's already there, right? So you don't need to nail it every single time, but at least 20% or 30% or 40% of the time. Because right now we're at 0% of the time. One step back and then 2 steps forward. I mean, that's kind of the idea here. Gotta learn to walk before you can drop 720 drop flank shadows before 360 press shift into the enemy backline. Yes! Exactly.